Hi everybody, this is Anya. I'm a senior horticulturist at Philbrook, and today we're going to be talking about tools, our favorite tools or gadgets that help us making our working at the garden even more fun. So these are my favorite tools here. I just pre-selected some, and some of them are also the tools that our colleagues like, and then they asked me to talk about with you. So I would like to start with number one favorite tool. It's a hoe. It's a really useful tool to weed annual weeds. There are many different types of hoes. This is my favorite. It's got many names. I call it Dutch hoe. I guess Dutch people used it first, and you can find them in any store, gardening store, or even Home Depot, and it's called scuffle hoe.
So a lot of people are used to seeing one that kind of has almost like this kind of thing, where it's just like a straight edge. What makes this one different?
Right, so when you go, let me just show you very quickly. Here's an example. There's a little weed going here. I mean, it's a perennial weed, but it's pretty young, so I can cut the roots really fast. So I like to, those two blades are pretty sharp, so if I go this way and this way, I mean, it's gone. I mean, it's already dead somewhere here, and it's not gonna come back. So if I have weeds growing here,
so this is kind of almost like a double-sided blade, right?
So I just with the motion going this like this, I can go fast. I can go fast, and I just get rid of the weeds and just move on. Annual weeds like this one is just like it's enough for me to scrape it off, and it's gonna be dead. For annual weeds, if it's this young, I can, I keep the blade pretty sharp, so it can go really deep and fast without much effort, and this is dead. This is not gonna come back. So in 2 hours with this sun, it's gonna disappear. So I love this tool. It helps me a lot to manage the garden when the weeds are pretty young and small. I see them emerging. I just grab this hoe and just scrape them off, and I'm done. That saves me hours of work later.
Okay, so what else do we have here?
So a lot of professional gardeners. Let me show you here on my belt. I have two tools in one holster. It's kind of holding those two very important tools, and they're here for me, ready to grab. They're dirty because I'm busy, I'm working, so they should be dirty. But usually I keep them clean and everything, and all the good practices. But now we're planting, so they're a little bit dirty. This is A.M. Leonard's soil knife. It's a very good brand, very sturdy, and the blade is made in Italy. It's really sharp, so you want to be careful with that. But when you like working, planting, and it comes through really easily, like cuts through the soil or roots. It's got that little edge here that you can pretty much cut anything, roots or anything that you need to cut. It's got a little scale here, 6 inches. So if you're planting something and you want to be very particular about how deep you want to plant, this is also helpful. Like, stick it in there. Okay, 6 inches, I'm good. So this is very, very helpful. It goes right in here. And the pruners. These are Felco pruners, and they're different numbers. I like number 2. I have a pretty small hand, so they fit my hand really easily. And I like also, additionally to that, keep this tool handy with me. It's a stone sharpener. It's a Corona brand, pretty popular. So I like to just have it with me and quickly sharpen my tools, and that's it. It's ready to go. I can also use that sharpener for this blade, so you can just follow the blade and just really quickly make sure that blade is ready for me to go. So that's a pretty good thing to have.
Yeah, that's great.
talking about some other tools here. So these are my pruners. This is my third hand. I can't exist without this. Really cool brand for saws is Silky. It's made in Japan. You know, Japanese steel. Very popular. Very sharp. I mean, you have to be really careful and then have a lot of respect for that tool. That's why it's good.
Always keep it in its sleeve.
Oh yes, and then we have them like in this size, and it's not folded, but they make them also like folded. So I personally like my personal saw at home. I have that folded Silky, and I would recommend that for you too. So it's easier to kind of keep it in your pocket. You don't have to worry about cutting yourself. So that is a really great brand, Silky, made in Japan. The other tool made in Japan is ARS scissors. These are pruning deadheading scissors, really sharp, very good to have with you if you go and deadhead some flowers or little very detailed bonsai pruning. This is really sharp, very helpful.
So these are all about detail and making those little small changes.
Yes, exactly. And one thing I have to say, and everybody will agree with me, there's nothing more frustrating than a dull tool. So having a tool, invest a little bit more money in a tool that has a really good quality blade. It's everything.
Can those also be sharpened with your stone sharpener?
These I would probably be a little bit more careful. These have a little bit more sophisticated edge. I would probably try to find the like a scissor sharpeners, so you don't really mess the edge, because once you get it wonky, it's not gonna work. So I would be a little bit more careful with the scissors.
Okay.
This is also one of my favorite.
Is this a bolt cutter? It looks like, no?
These are loppers, yeah. Well, you know, loppers, gardening loppers for cutting branches. Everybody's got them, and I like this one particularly because of this mechanism here. What it does, it gives a little bit more power to like the effort you when you try to cut the branch. And I mean, I can go through really thick branches with almost zero effort. It just goes like right through it, and very easy. Love them.
Yeah.
I love them.
Okay.
So these gloves, these are rose gloves. So Sheila, our horticulture director, she brought them today, and she likes them a lot because they're made of, this lower part is made of goat's skin, and that is pretty special because they are very tough.
Rose gloves because of thorns and things like that?
Yeah. Or a lot of people use them also for like pruning agaves and any like prickly things. So, you know, it's awkward because also gets your...
These are helpful for cactus and all kinds of stuff.
Yes. So, but you see if you touch it, Jeff, it's kind of, it's still soft. So
Very
it's
nice.
tough, but you have a lot of flexibility, and you have a lot of, you know, like, I don't like use gloves very often because I don't feel like I have control and feel. So it's really important to find gloves that will actually give you that comfort, that you can actually have a lot of control what you're doing. So these are pretty cool. You can buy them online or Duluth or any like Lowe's. I think they also have them. So you have to look for the goats.
Rose gloves made from goat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that lower part at least. And this is also another tool Sheila asked me to talk about. This is the Florist Trowel. So a lot of people would use the soil knife, and because it's it's pretty sharp, you can, you know, like in the soil it's much easier, but like in pots, if you containers, you have a nice potting mix. This is much easier to work through. This is a little bit wider, so you have a lot of work done just because of the width, and it's really handy tool as well. So we love it here too.
So let's talk about this hat for a second.
Okay.
This is a pretty fun little thing here.
Yeah.
This is a hat.
This
And
is
tell
a
us
hat.
why it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a straw hat, so it's good to have it in the garden to protect you from the sun. We're all crazy here about sustainability, so we also like to protect ourselves when we work. This hat has a solar panel, and that solar panel powers the fan, which is you can probably see and probably hear. And it's cooling my head.
Does it work?
Oh yeah, put your hand in there.
Nice
Feel it?
breeze. Very nice breeze.
Yes. So I'm keeping it for much hotter days. So this is still not hot enough. So you will see the
But soon.
Soon.
Very
yes,
soon.
very
We have some
soon.
90-something degree days next week. Perfect for that hat.
Excellent. So the last tool I want to show you. This is probably those last few days our favorite tool here, where as you may see around we are in the middle of planting. We're changing spring to summer, and we have a lot of plants to plant. So there are lots of plants going in the ground. So this really helps. Let me show you how. Once we have our beds prepped, so this is tilled, raked, and ready to go. Whoever is in charge of the garden is going to place the plants, and what we're going to do is to quickly and put it and keep going. So the next person behind is going to go pull it out.
So this is basically a drill with an
Yeah.
auger.
Yeah, and it's done. So this is a drill.
This is a drill anybody could have, a home drill.
Exactly, and this is just an auger, and you can buy them in different size and lengths. And this one is suitable for 4-inch pots. We've been planting 4-inch.
Would that be a fairly standard size that people would use?
These would be a little bit bigger. Like the one I have at home is more like 3-inch, and a lot of primarily we use it for planting bulbs that can fall. It's really like you can control how deep, and then it's just you put the bulb in, cover it up, and you're done. But also for the annual plants, I mean, this is like it cuts the labor in half. I mean, you can't beat it. We love it.
Yeah.
We really do.
Well, thank you for all those tips. We are going to go talk to Ross now about a couple of other tools. So we'll go over here. Hello, Ross.
Hey, Ross here. I'm an assistant horticulturist here at the Philbrook. Just started recently. I'm loving it. Let me tell you about some of the tools I've been using recently. This one I gotta say is probably one of my favorite. I mean, it's not too fancy. Just picked it up at Lowe's for maybe 25 bucks, but it saved me so much time just prepping garden beds and stuff like that. Let me go over and talk about this other hoe real quick, compare and contrast them. So this hoe right here is great for established beds. If you got a bunch of little weeds coming up, then this is great for just scraping them all off. This right here is a little bit more heavy duty. If you want to establish a bed that's like covered in grass, a bunch of weeds right now, this is really the best tool to really get at the ground, get the weeds out. And you got these 2 prongs right here. It's called I believe they call it a 2-pronged hoe. But this back here is really good for getting the grass roots out. Well, this is kind of good for once you got the roots kind of pulled up, and kind of turn around and scrape off all the roots and all the grass from there. So I really do like this. It saves me a lot of time. It's great for starting beds, digging the grass out.
Great. So what's next here?
So like I have another soil knife here. This one's a different brand. It is a Misaku brand from Japan. Got the Japanese steel like Anya was saying earlier. I gotta say, I use the other soil knife too quite a bit, and I really don't think you can go wrong with these soil knives. I got this as a gift for my birthday, 25 bucks on Amazon, and it is just amazing. I use it every day. Comes with a little holster here that I just carry around everywhere. You can go to Walmart wearing it. so it's just
So
perfect.
you know you're a true horticulturist when you're getting gifts like this for your birthday.
I gotta say, it is the perfect gift. If you have any gardeners in your life, definitely get some garden tools for any gift. Anytime I use it, I think about my brother, and it's pretty nice.
And as long as you maintain them and keep them sharp and things, they'll last for a long, long time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very great gift, I gotta say.
Yeah. Okay. What else we got here? This is in your personal carry-on here.
So my my arsenal is not as big. Let's see if I can
Now you got some duct tape here. This is
I do. This is kind of a Jimmy rig. Gotta say, the sheath they gave me with this knife
Yes.
is kind of falling apart, so you gotta do some readjustments yourself.
It's all right.
But I have this knife here. This is another pruning knife. It's not as nice, I gotta say, as the Suki Zubat.
A little smaller.
It's a little smaller, and the big difference is it doesn't have this curved blade. That makes a big difference, because with this curved blade here, you're getting more teeth touching the wood at a time. So really saves you a lot of work, and this feels like you're cutting through butter when you use one of these.
Yeah.
This still works great, but I gotta say the price range is gonna be a lot different. Just got this at Lowe's for about 15, 20 bucks. It's gonna run you probably like 60, maybe 90. I'm not exactly.
So maybe, you know, for a home gardener, yours might be fine. Obviously, we're doing a lot more work out here, so having a more professional tool like this is helpful in a situation. But if you want to splurge, give it a shot.
Yeah, this is great for at the home, but you know, I gotta say I've been using a little while, and I've already had to reshape the blade right here, so it does take a little work. I know we've been using these for a while, and I don't think we really had to do much to them on maintenance.
Yeah,
So very high quality.
that's great.
I want to talk a little bit more about not necessarily tools, but just safety equipment in general. It's going to get really hot here soon. I mean, it's Oklahoma. We know what to expect. I like to wear these sunglasses here. I mean, that doesn't really help with the heat, but when I'm out in the shrubs, pruning stuff, it get kind of hot, not really thinking too much. If you turn your head real quick, you can easily poke yourself in the eye. And I got real close to that last week and kind of couldn't see for maybe 30 minutes.
So these are kind of wrap around, almost serve as safety goggles.
Yeah, you definitely want to get something that wraps around. I mean, you might not think about it all the time, but you'll definitely be thinking about it if you lose an eye. So
Yes.
look into getting some nice glasses. Like Anya was saying, a hat really helps. Keeps your neck from getting sunburned. Your neck gets a lot of sun contact in the garden. You're always bending down. So unless you got like a mullet or long hair, I would suggest getting one of these rags.
Without access to haircutting right now, mullets might be a good option. I don't think
yeah.
anybody can get haircuts.
I like the style.
A safety mullet. Yeah.
It's for for safety. But I like to have this cloth here. I mean, any cloth will work. Good summer tip: keep a bucket of ice water. Keep this around your neck, and every now and then just dip it in the ice water and keep it cool through the summer. Protect against the heat strokes, because those are real and they can happen to you. So.
And obviously working earlier. You guys get here quite early, especially during the summer months, to really get as much cool time as you can.
Oh, that's definitely true.
You're not here working at 5 o'clock.
Oh, we try not to be. Yeah, you don't want to. I mean, it's nice to be working hard, but you know the sun's strong, so
Yeah.
watch out for that.
Well, good. Well, thank you for all these tips. They've been very helpful. Thank you to Anya. Thank you to Ross. Here, let's say bye to Anya over there. We're staying socially distant and keeping our distance. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.